This is so strange. I love it.
Next to me is the Corvette E-Ray, the first ever all-wheel drive Corvette and the first ever electrified Corvette. So what is it like to drive, and does it still feel like a brutal American V8 sports car? Today we're gonna find out exactly that. The E-Ray is powered in part by a 6.2-liter V8 from the C8 Corvette that on its own makes 495 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. All that power is sent to the rear wheels through an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Now, goes without saying, the C8 Corvette powertrain is anything but slow. However, Chevy decided to turn things up a notch by adding an electric drive unit on the front axle, boosting power by an additional 160. The result, 655 horsepower. And thanks to its electrified all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 happens in a Bugatti rivaling 2.5 seconds and the quarter mile in 10.5. The E-Ray shares the same 3.6-inch wider body from the Z06. That allows it to put 345mm tires at the rear, which actually sets the record for largest all-season tires ever to be fitted on any vehicle. Yes, that's right, because it comes standard as all-wheel drive, it also comes standard with all-season tires. Chevy says you can drive it in the rain, and they've even tested it in the snow with decent performance. If you opt for the ZER package, you can get summer high-performance tires, the PS4S's, and more intense chassis tuning. With a base price of $104,450, the E-Ray is the performance bargain of the century. Seriously, the performance for the money is unrivaled. And despite weighing 4,000 pounds, obviously with the electric drive unit, it's going to be heavier than the standard Stingray. Chevy says it's faster than the Z06 to 60 and the quarter mile. And having just driven it, I can confirm it is ridiculously quick. The E-Ray shares the super aggressive front fascia from the Z06. Now, the easiest way to tell the difference between the Z06 and the E-Ray from the front is these accent lines are actually painted body color instead of in that carbon flash contrast. Now, despite the fact that we do have the electric drive components in the front, we also have a massive usable front trunk that's actually the same size as in the C8, which is unbelievable. And for the first time I've ever seen in a vehicle, it actually has a soft close front trunk. How cool is that? The E-Ray is available as either a coupe or convertible. Now, the cool part about Corvettes is even if you get the coupe, it still has a removable roof. Now, in general, if this was the Z06, obviously I would go for the coupe, but because of the more refined driving experience and slightly softer suspension than the Z06 on the E-Ray, I actually quite like the convertible. Something that's very interesting is it comes standard with carbon ceramic brakes, something that's an option on the $5,000 more expensive Z06, an expensive option at that. So you've got optimal braking performance. We've also got bespoke new wheels for the E-Ray, 20s in the front, 21s in the rear. And another way to tell the E-Ray, other than of course this badge, apart from the Z06 is this signature Y side blade is finished in body color as well to make it a bit more subtle, if you can consider something that looks this outrageous subtle. At the rear, we've got a new Stingray badge that's subtly different than the one on the C8 Stingray for the E-Ray. You'll notice we don't have that center quad exhaust from the Z06. That's because it shares the motor from the C8 Stingray, so we've got that exhaust. Now, what's really cool is for the first time ever, you can actually start up this Corvette without making a sound at all and take away completely in silence. Stealth mode allows you to drive the E-Ray in all electric mode up to 45 miles an hour for up to 4 miles. So if you don't want to annoy your neighbors in the morning, you can simply start up the car in electric mode. To activate stealth mode, turn accessory power on, scroll 1 to the left with the drive selector, put your foot on the brake, turn the vehicle on, and off you go.
This is so strange. I love it.
Also new for the E-Ray is Charge Plus mode, which can be activated by this button right here. It'll pop up on the screen, charge on, and that'll use both regenerative braking and the engine to quickly recharge the battery in as little as 3 miles, so you have full power if you want to take it to the track or drag race. We also have this E-Ray Performance app that shows you some pretty cool data. This is showing you the difference in engine output versus electric output. You can also change it to torque. Then we can go over to dyno, which plots your horsepower over time as well as your torque. You can even select the time frame in which you want to view it. And then there's an additional data screen right here for some of your electric powertrain related information.
This is how to do 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds in an E-Ray. Activate track mode, traction control twice, scroll over to sport traction, floor the brake, floor the gas, and off we go. Oh my gosh, this thing is an animal. It accelerates so fast. And one of the best parts about this car is that electronic noise that comes in conjunction with that beautiful V8. That is one of the coolest sounds I have ever heard in a road car. Oh my gosh. Yes, it's artificial, but it just sounds so epic. What I'm surprised about is how much traction this thing gets for having all-season tires that all-wheel drive just grips to the road. Wow. The level of confidence you have behind the wheel of the E-Ray is ridiculous. This thing is insane. All right, let's try stealth mode, something entirely different. Go ahead and fire it up. Drive. And off we go in complete silence. Oh, this is crazy. First time driving a Corvette in all electric mode. It's an eerie experience. You really expect that loud rumbling V8. But honestly, the suspension setup has been done so well in this car, and it is really luxurious in here, honestly. And the isolation from the outside world is done in a way where it actually feels at home in electric mode. It feels like an expensive electric luxury car. And then on the flip side, it's a really, really fast sports car. It's not quite as gnarly as a Z06, but it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a little bit more refined and something you could drive on a daily basis. And I think this is really the world's first daily drivable Corvette, because if it rains or it snows, it doesn't matter. You can continue. All right, let's see what happens if we floor it. I'm anticipating the engine's gonna kick on. Yep, and off we go. All right, back in track mode now. Oof. Oh, it sounds so good. And I love that if you're not on the gas a ton, all you hear is that V8. But when you floor it and you know that electric power is kicking in, it gives you that surge, space age noise. Oh my God. It's honestly faster than I was expecting. Obviously 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds is very quick, but it's the acceleration after that that's really impressive. It just keeps pulling and pulling and pulling. The 8-speed dual clutch transmission shifts really, really quickly. I love the upshifts. I only have one complaint about the downshifts. I wish they had more of a thwap to it when you downshift. It feels like it just kind of smoothly downshifts. All right, we're gonna hit the brakes hard. The RPMs rise, but it doesn't have that super intense downshift noise that you come to expect on a dual clutch transmission. But other than that, performance-wise, that is my absolute only gripe with this car. The acceleration is crazy. The grip levels are phenomenal. It doesn't drive like a big, heavy car whatsoever. It feels like a tight, nimble Corvette. And with that added security, that added performance and grip levels with the all-wheel drive system, it just gives you so much confidence. It's borderline insane. And I think they knocked it out of the park for what this car was supposed to be. I mean, starting at just under 105 grand, something you could drive all the time, you could cruise with the top down. It really is pretty unbelievable. But overall, man, this is an incredible performance bargain. And I think it's slotted so perfectly in between the Stingray and the Z06. And it's gonna have a lot of Z06 owners or potential Z06 owners wondering, should you get the Z06 or should you get the E-Ray? And I'll try to answer that for you. If you want something that's really good on the track, obviously the Z06 is the way to go. If you want something that feels more alive, more intense at every moment, the Z06 is the way to go. But this, in terms of practicality, I mean, if you want to have a stoplight racer, this is gonna be faster 99% of the time. If it's slightly cold out, the Z06 isn't gonna get traction like this car. And it's more comfortable to drive. It's a little bit quieter in here. and it accelerates just as fast. And it's not like it has a 6-cylinder or something like that. The V8 in this car still sounds absolutely phenomenal. So I think it just really depends what you're looking for in a vehicle. Now, another thing I love about the convertible Corvette is we've got this rear window right here that you can put down. So you don't have to put the top all the way down in case it's a little chilly out, but you can hear the engine better through that rear window, which is just such a cool feature. They need to add that in coupes. I think that would be awesome, but I guess it's an incentive to buy the convertible. Go ahead and put that up. Obviously, the interior is very similar to a standard Stingray, but it's amazing. Honestly, the dual screens are fantastic. The carbon fiber throughout. The leather seats feel amazing. They're comfortable and supportive. They're actually some of the best seats I've ever experienced in terms of both being supportive and comfortable and not jarring all at the same time. As is the suspension. It has very, very minimal body roll, but at the same time, it's not super intense over bumps in any way, shape, or form. My only complaint about the interior is the fit and finish on a couple pieces. Now, it's possible that this is a pre-production car and this might be a one-off example. So don't just take my word for this piece right here, but some of the carbon fiber pieces right here on the door where they align with the dash, the trim doesn't quite line up as well as my eye would like it to, and same with this piece right here. But that is seriously nitpicking. And if you think about the fact that you're getting the performance and essentially the look of a $300,000, $400,000 Ferrari or Lamborghini for 4 times less, obviously it's not going to have every single thing be perfect. But like I said, it's possible this is just pre-production and might be totally fine in every other production car. We also have wireless Apple CarPlay. We have a wireless charger right here. We've got an upgraded 14-speaker Bose speaker system, a standard heads-up display. I mean, this car is really packed with everything you could need in a sports car. It might be the ultimate daily drivable sports car, honestly. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video, and I'll leave you with some uninterrupted, beautiful E-Ray noises.